Good morning and welcome to our July 14th, 2025 regular council meeting. We're going to call the meeting to order. Do we have anybody registered for open microphones since 5 minutes ago? Do we have anybody online? We're all alone. All right, item 3, looking for approval of the agenda. Any additions? Ms. Howard?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration would like to add residential incentive into new business.
Could be 15-1. Anything else from council? Yeah, go ahead, Councilor Nielsen.
Yes, I have an item in closed session under either Section 18, confidential matters from other governments, or Section 20, law enforcement matters. I don't know which one it falls under.
Which one would you like it to fall under?
20.
Perfect. Anything further? All right, on the first one, residential incentive. Those in favor of adding it to the agenda? Carried. And closed session, Section 20, police matters. Those in favor? Carried as well. Looking for a motion to carry or move the agenda as amended. Councillor Blatz, those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Item 6, consent agenda. Councillor Blatz.
Okay. As consent agenda is always an issue.
It's not an issue. Hang on one second, Jessica.
Sorry to interrupt. Can we adopt the minutes first?
Absolutely. Sorry. Item 4, adoption of the minutes. Any errors or omissions? Councillor Blatz, those in favor? Carried. Thanks, Jessica.
Okay, back to consent.
Back to consent agenda. Is there something you would like to pull?
Yes.
What would you like to pull?
I would like to pull the budget engagement, please.
Budget engagement 9.1.
And I'll move consent agenda as amended, please.
Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 9.1. Budget engagement. You're just looking for it to be pulled to have a conversation, or do you want an update from administration?
I think that if I get an update from administration, it might answer my questions. So I think that if somebody could present it, that would be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Through the chair to council, at the city's open house, there was a table set up with finance, obviously, and one of the items that they had there was just any feedback that the public may have had for council during budget engagement. And as normal, we just took the verbatim comments and put them into the agenda for you to consider as you head into both capital and operating budgets.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you. Maybe through the chair to Sue. There were just a few items that were on the report that I know that you just said were verbatim, so I'm not sure if you can expand on them more, but specifically, I just want to know more about the 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. bylaw item and the downtown murals repair. It's just those two things. I'm not really sure what was meant by them, so.
Sure. So the 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. our bylaw hours are not covered during that time. I think 11 or 12, depending on how they schedule, is when we stop. So for the wee hours of the morning, there's no bylaw on staff. And so I think the public was just looking at you to staff it 24/7, which would take a significant increase potentially in the staffing that we have. And then the downtown murals repair and paint, there are a couple that are not city initiated, but they're kind of running into disrepair. And so there have been some comments around keeping existing murals up when building owners let them fall.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. bylaw part, I think I got hung up on just because I wasn't sure if there was a specific bylaw between those hours. So the fact that it's bylaw officers, that makes more sense. So thank you.
Councillor Nielsen.
I'm in the City Council to accept the budget feedback received from June 7, 2025 as information.
Thank you. Councillor Elliott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to the city manager. Sue, we're going to have other chances for the public to have input into the budget, correct?
Through the chair to Councillor Elliott, that's correct. There'll be an opportunity as part of the capital budget that'll be coming to council in September, and then there will be opportunity again before the operating budget comes to council in November.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Billingsley?
Thank you. To administration, are these all the comments that were made, or were some of them, or were these the only, in other words, are these the only 14 comments that were made?
Through the chair to Councillor Billingsley, that is correct.
Okay. Item 13, WFH.
Working from home.
There were staff at the open house.
Don't speculate, Ms. Howard. Anything further? Those in favor? Carried, thank you. Item 10, Family Day 2026. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I am Zanette Frost from the Community and Protective Services Recreation Department, and I'm here to present RFD 251405 regarding the potential hosting of Family Day activities in 2026. The purpose of this report was to provide Council with an overview of the benefits, cost, challenges, and opportunities associated with hosting a Family Day event in 2026. This ultimately aligns with Council's strategic goal of enhancing community engagement. There are several benefits, including building community spirit, connection, and inclusivity. This would offer memorable experiences for family and a break from the daily routines. Activities like crafts, games, music performances can be hosted indoors to mitigate weather risks. And costs will vary based on the event of the scale of the event. For indoor events at the rec hall, we would be looking at potentially up to, depending on what the nature of the event was, $45,000 for entertainment, up to $3,000 for food, and employee time up to 200 hours. Contingency, we've added
Sorry, Zanette, your entertainment cost, you said 45,000.
4,500.
Thank you.
Did I say 1,000?
You did.
That would be one heck of an event, wouldn't it?
I thought maybe you had something special in mind.
Sorry about that.
No, all
So some of our challenges are limited staff capacity. Employees are already managing a number of essential services, and there are budget constraints, and the scale and scope of the event would depend on what council would approve. Opportunities, potential partnerships with community organizations. It would enhance the city's reputation as a family-friendly municipality, and again, aligns with the council's strategic goals for community engagement. Within that report, there is an example budget that included items such as a free swim at Manluck Recreation Center, rec hall activities, food, employee time, and a miscellaneous. So the implications for this are that we are looking up to $16,000 for a premier event, and Recreation would be collaborating with Economic Development and Communications, and may have other effects on other departments such as Public Works or Facilities. Ultimately, the community impact would be an opportunity to create lasting and potentially an annual tradition. Thank you, and I welcome any questions from Council.
Councillor Billingsley.
Thank you. I move the City Council directs administration to create an operating business case for Council's consideration during the 2026 budget deliberations.
Moved by Councillor Billingsley. Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, comment, I think that this is a great idea for many years, especially when Family Day first was started. It was a big event at By the Lake Park, and it's kind of disappeared. My question, though, is going to be what's going to be brought back to us during budget. In other words, what would happen? You talk about staff being stretched, but you're talking about 200 hours. what will be taken away? Because if you're stretched, you don't have 200 free hours. So is that something that you've already started on, or that will, once you get the green light, or if you get the green light, then from there, then you'll start working on this, and then that will be brought back during budget?
So through the chair to Councillor Billingsley, that is exactly what we would do. We would try to manage staff as best we could at that time, and trying to mitigate any taking away from existing current levels of service.
Thank you.
Councilor Bronco.
Have you approached organizations in our community, if we still got to pay for this, or maybe say, you know, if you support this or bring some staff, we would pay that, or kind of work with our big groups in our community, Moose Hall, the Legion, Women's Legion, or whatever, getting the community involved other than just City Hall?
Through the chair to Councillor Branco, at this time we have not. We're awaiting council approval of this as an OBC, and then we will proceed with approaching other community organizations to assist us.
Or maybe we can unite all the groups with the city to put a big City of Wetaskiwin Family Day, which involves all these organizations. They're all going to spend money for Family Day. One's going to do one. But if we all come into one basket, we have more funding, more sources of people to do it.
Through the chair to Councillor Branco, absolutely.
Thank you.
Councilor Nielsen.
Thank you. Through the chair. I guess looking at some of your concerns relative to staffing and so forth, I'm wondering if there'd been any consideration for organizing it but not being responsible to run it. And by that I mean, if we look at some of the amenities in our community, whether it's swimming or movie theater or bowling, ice arena, gymnastics center, etc., why could we not turn to those organizations or businesses and actually just contract stuff out? And I guess I'm just thinking in terms of you have 2-hour windows where the bowling alley, and 3-hour windows at the movie theater, and we facilitate it, but we aren't necessarily setting up venues ourselves. And I have no idea what the costs are. It's something that FCSS does in the sense that they can't, because of the same reasons you're citing, they don't have the manpower to do it all themselves, so they contract it out. So I'd like that considered for sure. And I guess the other thing is, I think, for me personally, although my physical stature would prove otherwise, the idea of feeding people free food seems to me to be a waste of money, in the sense of it's a lot of work, it's a lot of preparation, there's potentially waste at the end of it all, and if we're really looking for events or things for families to do, I'm not sure that we need to feed everybody in the community to do that. Just some observations. Thank you.
Councilor Blatz.
Thank you. Through the chair to Zanette, a few things. Number one, thank you for putting this together. I know it must have taken quite some time, so thank you for the information. But also, so I'm interested in the numbers a little bit, just because the budget is $10,500, but then there was a range given between $3,000 and $16,000. But I was assuming that the $10,500 would be everything all in. What would get us to the $16,000?
Through the chair to Councillor Blatz, a lot of that would be if we were to increase the number of activities, as well as perhaps the food costs and the ability for staffing to be a little wider spread potentially. So it's sort of a difference between a premier event and a baseline average kind of event that we would run.
Okay, so the 10,500 would be a baseline. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And my second comment is more just to say the opposite of what Councillor Nielsen said, which was that I think that a lot of events, a lot of the times they struggle because they don't have food at that event. If you want to have a successful event, usually that does involve bringing food in and feeding people. And so for me, I do find the food to be a important part of this event. Thank you.
Councillor Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to Zanette, thank you for doing the research on this. I see this being similar to Welcome Wetaskiwin, wherein you've got all these other groups that are helping us out, making the whole week something very special. We also, this is just dealing with the indoor activities. We have lots of things. We have By the Lake Park. We had Foss doing sleigh rides. We had the fire department there. We have the Gwynn Ski Hill. We have outdoor rinks. We could make outdoor rinks at By the Lake Park. There are many ways that we can do it, as going along with Councillor Nielsen, leaving it to different organizations to organize. Pizza is pretty expensive. I know we're talking minute about the whole thing, but we used to do hot dogs all the time out at By the Lake Park, and we would go through 600 to 800 hot dogs in an afternoon in about a 3-hour stint. But sometimes you get people getting 5 and 6 hot dogs too, so we feed the hungry. But I don't know if we have to have food all the time. It certainly encourages people to come, and it takes preparation, as Councillor Nielsen said. But I just want to make sure that we can do this efficiently and with as little cost outlay as possible. And maybe we get somebody to donate hot dogs, or we get somebody to donate pizza. We could get sponsors for this as well. I think we have businesses in our community who might sponsor a family day activity without actually having to get involved. So I appreciate this, and I really hope that this goes through so we can have some family day activities again this year. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Bronco.
Thank you. 2 questions. One, the 200 hours is not, that's what we need for volunteers or our staff to do. That's not included in this 10,000.
Through the chair to Councillor Branco, no, it's not.
So the cost would be more. But going back to my colleagues on food, I disagree with you, but I know me and Bill, many moons ago, we used to do a lot of family and stuff like that. We used to cook all the time by Jubilee Park or by, and one thing that we seem to forget in our community, there's a lot of corporate sponsors who would donate, would donate $100 for the food or the stuff. So I think the potential for our community, our business to get involved, and I'm sure, speaking on behalf of my business, is if you put their name in the paper, that's an advertising and a recognition. These are our community people who support Family Day. So I think it's something we missed or we haven't approached yet, but I think there's a lot of potential. So I like the idea. Thank you.
As long as this is about whether or not we're having staff bring this back as an OBC, we can debate the merits of it when it comes back at budget time, but I don't know that we need to continue going around and around. Do you have something in terms of whether or not it should come back as an OBC? Okay. Anything further? We're ready for the question. Those in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10.2, rescinding of policy CO-028, placement of installation of school and playground zone signs.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a couple of policies and bylaws that are coming back today. So administration has been trying to keep those bylaws and policies current, and this is one from 1994. This bylaw it references outdated bylaws such as the traffic bylaw, and signage decisions really should be administrative and based on engineering principles. And for these 2 reasons, we're bringing this bylaw back to be rescinded. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Councillor Billingsley.
Thank you. I move that City Council rescinds policy CO-028, placement and installation of school and playground zone signage.
Moved by Councillor Billingsley. Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried. Item 10.3, rescinding of infrastructure surcharge policy CO-015.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Similar to the other one, this policy was actually replaced in 2019 and became part of the infrastructure surcharge, the reserves policy. And so all of the details of the infrastructure surcharge policy became redundant at that point, and it was never rescinded. I do want to note, originally we had talked about bringing back the information around the infrastructure surcharge tax to council in 2026. However, Ms. Lewin and I were speaking last week, and we actually think that this should be brought back during council orientation. And so we'll have the information ready to speak to specifically to the funding that is going to be required for infrastructure surcharge tax looking forward, and then bring back the reserves policy once we get buy-in from the new council to have that updated in hopefully before budget.
Councillor Blatz.
Did we already make a motion?
Pardon?
We didn't make a motion. Okay, good. I move that City Council rescinds policy CO-015.
Moved by Councillor Blatz. Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried. 10.4, rescinding of policies CO-017, signing authority.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the last one that I have this morning. So the signing authority policy was updated or adopted in 2006. And since then, we've had a bunch of changes, not only provincially legislated, but internally as well. And so this policy has become unnecessary. I've noted in the RFD the sections of this policy that are covered in other areas. And so administration is just looking to rescind this policy, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Councillor Nielsen.
I move the City Council rescinds policy CO-017, the signing authority.
Moved by Councillor Nielsen. Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried. 10.5, rescind CO-001, board member recognition.
Good morning. Over to me now. So the board member recognition policy is also before council this morning to be rescinded. This policy was before committee in the last month or so. The policy is being recommended for rescission, basically because the recognition methods within the policy are quite outdated. This policy is from 2006. Now, so should council rescind the policy, an amendment to the policy standards will also be required. And I have outlined the reasons in the RFD. There is a reference to the board member policy within policy standards. So the motion before council rescinds the board member recognition policy, and it makes the amendment to the policy standards. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
Councillor Aberley.
Thank you. I move that City Council rescind the board member recognition policy CO-001 and CO-001-1, and approve the revised policy standard CO-006 as presented.
Moved by Councillor Aberley. Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Item 12.1, fees and charges bylaw amendment, Schedule L.
Good morning, Council. The Peace Hills Board met back in March of 2025 and approved a motion to decrease the wastewater fees by 3%. After the city received $35.831 million from the province of Alberta for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade project. So we presented Bylaw 2088-25 to Council on April 14th, 2025, with recommending that 3% decrease. Council did make an amendment to that motion to decrease by 6%. And then again at the June 9th, 2025 regular council meeting, a motion was made to reconsider the rate reduction due to new information being presented by the Peace Hills Board. Council made a motion to increase the wastewater rates by 3% effective September 1st, 2025. And so this Schedule L will have those updated fees. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I move the City Council gives first reading to Bylaw 2096-25 to amend fees and charges bylaw 2088-25 Schedule L as presented.
Moved by Councillor Nielsen. Any discussion? Councillor Blatz.
Thank you. Through the chair to council, I will be voting against this bylaw for all the reasons that I stated in the June 9th council meeting. I don't agree with raising or not reducing as much as we said in the beginning the rates for wastewater, and even with the new information, I still vote against that motion, and so I will continue to vote against this bylaw for the exact same reasons.
Anything further? I'll also be voting against it. I would like to have seen a 6% decrease, not 3%. Those in favor? Opposed? Defeated. I have a subsequent motion of a 6% reduction, if that is the will of council. Sue?
Sorry, through the chair to council, I think with this defeated, the bylaw stays the same, so the
At
other
6%?
RFD is just, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Item 12.2, bylaw 2097-25, local improvement bylaw.
So at the April 14th, 2025 regular council meeting, the local improvement amending bylaw 2087-25 was approved for the road reconstruction on 62nd Street from 47th Avenue to 49th Avenue, and on 49th Avenue from 62nd Street to Evergreen Close, and on Evergreen Close. After an inquiry from an affected property owner regarding the options for refunds on any overpayments, administration sought some additional legal advice, and so we're requesting an amendment to this bylaw. So we do have the amending bylaw attached, as well as the new schedule of payments, and so administration will be refunding any overpayments on the first and second installments of the levy, and then there will be money withheld from that refund for the third installment, so the 2025 tax levy, and these will be calculated based on each parcel and what they had paid previously. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I move that City Council gives first reading to bylaw 2095-25 to amend local improvement bylaw 2087-25 as presented. Open it up for discussion. So just so I'm clear, any payments that were made prior to this new bylaw over and above, is it over and above the 206.69 or over the 155.61 is going to be refunded back to the homeowner?
Through the chair to council. So everything will be refunded except for the $206.69. So that $206.69 will be every year for 25 years.
Okay, starting now, 25 years from now.
No, from when we implemented the tax levy of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 23 years of 206.
No. 25 years at $206.69. So for 2023, they should have paid $206.69. In 2024, they should have paid $206.69. 2025, and so on, $206.69. So anything beyond that payment will be refunded. Anything short of that, so the 2025 levy was $155.61, they will have to pay additional money to get to that $206.69, which will come out of their refund.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to Kathy. How long does it take a refund to be returned?
through the chair to council. I will have to double check that with our finance team.
But it would be sooner rather than later.
If council approves this bylaw, then we will be sending out the letters and refunds as soon as we can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Anything further? Those in favor? Carried. I move that City Council give second reading to Bylaw 2097-25 to amend Local Improvement Bylaw 2087-25. Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried. I move the City Council gives unanimous consent to move third reading of Bylaw 2097-25 to amend Local Improvement Bylaw 2087-25. Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried unanimously. I move that City Council gives third and final reading to Bylaw 2097-25 to amend Local Improvement Bylaw 2087-25. Any discussion? Those in favor? Carried. Item 13.1, Wetaskiwin and Area Lodge Authority, WALA.
That was on consent agenda.
Oh, thank you. Then I need a motion to go into closed session. Councillor Billingsley, those in favor? Carried, thank you. All right, welcome back. Looking for motion to come out of closed session, please. Councillor Blatz, those in favor? Carried. All right, new business, 15.1, residential incentive.
Good morning, Council, and for the benefit of the viewers watching at home, I'm Vern May, Manager of Economic Development. I'm very pleased to report this morning to Council following the April 28th meeting where Council approved the residential development incentive. We've more than exceeded what was allocated. Currently, we have 14 applications for new housing builds for a combined value of $2.175 million in new housing, and that's just the applications that already have been submitted for development permits. We've had inquiries from people that maybe weren't immediately on the button to develop properties that they have available here, and what they've communicated to us is their willingness to proceed is tied to access to this incentive. So the reason that I'm coming before Council today is to explore the opportunity to expand the program. Based on the applications that we've received so far, the anticipated tax revenues from the 10 homes that are approved through this program will be an additional $16,082 in tax revenue per year. So we're looking at requesting to double the program for an additional $100,000 to allow for an additional 10 new homes to be constructed and ready for occupancy by March 2026.
Sorry, you said $1.75 million in housing development permits has been applied for?
2.1.
2.1. Councillor Blatz.
Thank you. I move the council approves an extension of the approved residential development incentive by an additional $100,000 to be funded from the stabilization reserve. This would inspire the construction of 10 more homes within the next 12 months, and I just have a follow-up
Moved by
comment.
Councillor Blatz, go ahead.
Thank you. This is an incredible success, and I am very excited about this. So thank you for the good news on our first meeting in July.
Councillor Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to Vern. Vern, is $100,000 enough? If you've had this much interest, do you think we will surpass that amount again?
I think at this time, when we look at the period of time where we haven't seen a lot of residential growth, I think this is a way to kick the domino, and I think what we will see is that other developers will take note of the volume of development activity happening, and maybe it inspires them to develop with or without the incentive.
And which budget would this be coming from?
Stabilization.
Does it say that? Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. I didn't read thoroughly enough.
That's just fine. That's why we work as a team. Councillor Billingsley.
Thank you. Through the chair to Vern. That last comment may or may not happen without this. Is that what you just said?
We do have one application in particular where they have an infill lot that they're ready to develop. They're ready to submit their application for a development permit. But what they've communicated to us is that the margin is so narrow that if they don't have access to this incentive, it would be a deal breaker for them.
Thank you.
Anything further?
I already did.
Councillor Blatz already made it. Yeah. And she talked about stabilization reserve. I'm pretty excited about it. Thanks very much, Vern. Those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Anything else from administration? We shall adjourn at 10:28 a.m.